Everyone talks about the bad side of things in contest prep, like the negative side effects. But on this video, I want to list the top 3 things where I believe that makes a contest prep worth it, like the good things of a contest prep. And yeah, let's dive directly into it. Like number one is it makes you, in a sense, more spiritual, more calm. And that is, I would say, yeah, like all those 3 things are like none is better than the other, but this is one of the things I really, really love, in the sense of like, yeah, you wake up like earlier than usual, most likely most days, and you yeah, you just feel like, it's hard to put into words, but just more connected to the world. You like, yeah, like the simple little things make you like more excited in a way. And yeah, that is something you honestly have to experience. It's just so hard to put into words. It's mostly a thing of like little simple things just make you like more excited. You also become more interested in like, yeah, in my experience, like things you've been like very into as a kid, like in contest prep, I always become more interested in video games, in movies, in reading books. Like reading books is a big one. Like those things, you gain back like a weird kind of interest for those kind of things, which are like more of an introverted nature, which makes sense. And prep, we usually become much more introverted, and we become just less social, right? Like low, like more like superficial activities interest us less, and we become more interested in those more so nerdy kind of things. That's at least what I feel in contest prep, and as well of like becoming like more creative. All those kinds of things. You're like just able to tap more into your creative side as well, which is definitely a big one. The next thing is you become more self-aware. While during prep, that often sucks a little bit because you see parts of yourself you can easily hide with layers of body fat in your off season. You can conceal them. Your social mask comes off in a contest prep, and you feel kind of like, yeah, like almost entitled to do so. So if you become more of an asshole in your contest prep, and you kind of like internally even justify that yourself, like, oh, I'm in contest prep, oh, I can be an asshole. This means you are also an asshole, and you're, generally speaking, you're an asshole, but you are way easier to conceal that with enough body fat, in a sense. So this means like you can do a lot of like work in like personal work in your off season afterward, because it's like really, really, it shows who you truly are in your contest prep. So all those, also all the bad habits, right, they show up even more in your contest prep. But also things like depression, anxiety, like mental health disorders, they show up way more in the contest prep. So you know in your off season like what to work on. So it's like kind of like a mirror what to work on. Same thing in a relationship. So telling your partner you in a contest prep, and then hey, maybe not during the prep like really bashing at you, but like afterwards, like reflecting together, like in what sense you became like a quote unquote bad person, and then in your off season you can really, really work on that. And I feel like, yeah, like with enough body fat and so on, you can conceal those things your whole life without ever working on it, because it feels manageable, easy, little. But then again, in the contest prep, you just can't like conceal those things. Your social mask comes off, very similar of like, yeah, like people with power, right? Like at jobs, hey, they treat all their coworkers like shit. Probably means like they have to do a lot of internal work. Same thing in the contest prep, where we can gain a weird sense of entitlement of becoming an asshole, in a sense. Or all the other bad habits, they just show up more. And then hey, in our off season we can do all those personal work, which also in hindsight will, like bodybuilding, everything impacts recovery, being a better human, being more happy and so on. As in my opinion, one of the biggest benefits when it comes to like recovery, enjoying training and so on. So the final thing, number 3, is I think obvious to many, but again, it's like the challenge of it, like the daily grind, in a sense. And this makes us grow, right? Like we can choose our heart in life. And if we do like things that are hard, but in hindsight like give us like a lot of meaning, it makes us grow as a person and gives our life meaning in a sense. So that is like one, yeah, of the big things of like, yeah, you will have days where you ask yourself, oh, why am I actually doing this? It's damn hard and so on. But then at the end of the day, every single day, I have days where they feel extremely hard, where doing steps feel extremely hard, going training feels extremely hard, and so on. And then, but then at the end of the day, I lay in my bed, I'm like, damn, like you got it, you made it. Like it gives you like that kind of like natural good dopamine in a sense at the end of it. And again, like the more and we grow as like our character, all of it grows. The more contest preps I do and so on, like you become just yeah, like a better human. You become stronger and so on if you channel that, all of that in the right ways. So yeah, and that being said, like always the first ever contest prep is always the hardest, so again that will really knock you out. But then you also know, like one thing is, hey, future preps, they will be easier, but then again also even the first prep, you actually know if it's actually something you enjoy doing. Does it give you meaning? And the main thing to know if contest prep like that life is for you, does it give you meaning? Like does it feel like, if it feels empty, probably not the right thing, right? With any like other hard things in life. So if it actually gives you a lot of like yeah, like that purpose, so-called purpose in life, meaning in life, then it's like, yeah, probably your thing. So yeah, the third thing is like feeling like being on a mission in a sense. I love that. That's also a right term. Like I feel like being on a challenge, on a mission every day. Boom. Like waking up. Even in my off season, I have that feeling. Like every training session, it's like, oh, another mission, another quest. Boom, nail that. Okay, and training clips from this session. I think I recorded that one last time as well, but I can always give like a few more. Yeah, updates in regard to prep, some cues on the specific movements, and so on. So another thing that also came in mind with like the benefits within the contest prep, like there's like two more things that came in mind, which are like the camaraderie, like in a sense of like you're going to meet like a lot like like-minded people, which can be very hard at like, let's say, a commercial gym setting, right? Where yeah, we are the kind of like weirdos, we are the kind of like freaks in a sense. And what I really laugh about, like, hey, also within social media, like, or going to those shows, you meet like, yeah, it's kind of like a big meetup of like all those weirdos at one place. And yeah, and you feel like, hey, you're not the only one. Like sometimes it can feel very lonely doing that, yeah, like that journey by ourselves. But then we realize there's actually a lot of people who yeah, are as crazy as we are. So that is another like big benefit as well, I would say. So yeah, the lat dom cable rows here, as always, rib cage down, elbows close to the body, and yeah, making sure my scapula is like quite still. So I want to initiate the movement via my elbows, keeping this gap very still, and as always partial work on all the back movements, because I feel like, especially like a lot of like back movements, unless you have like specific machines, they are always more of a shortened by its nature. So same with like side delts, it can leave out the tension. Like you still have a lot of tension, like a lot of like, or let's say a lot of like gas in the tank within that like lengthen range, and they stay fresh. So we miss out a little bit on that extra stimulus, I feel like, if we don't go into like partial reps, especially within back. I think that really helped me like bring my back up this off season. So here I'm doing like, again, like that more cheaty kind of pull down where I have like controlled momentum. I make sure I keep the tension on the muscle. Here I'm arching my back. Here I'm having like more scapular movement, so it's like, hey, a lot of upper back, still some weirdals, still some teres major, even lats involved, but like the main thing is here like the lower portion of the traps. So yeah, here you saw me doing partials as well. 2 sets on all those movements, because we have to remember as well with like yeah, like all that partial work, like 2 sets, it's plenty of intensity, but also plenty of volume, right? That's why I'm not a big fan of like counting volume via sets, because every exercise is different. Also, how we perform that, right? If you do a movement with or without partials, it's a different kind of set, right? Like you obviously get more out of one set with partials, but also like more fatigue what comes with it. So it's not like the thing of like, hey, 2 sets equal 2 all the time. So it's so dependent on a, yeah, let's say on a movement. Like here doing the, yeah, dumbbell flies with more of a neutral grip, just to keep my, yeah, shoulder happy. Most likely switching that one up to a pec deck fly, just a flat pec deck fly, just to keep like, yeah, like everything safe. So I would always recommend within prep, like each movement where you just feel like a weird sensation, a weird feeling of unsafety, I would switch that always out with movements that feel like where you feel 100% confident with. I have the same with like barbell RDLs. Like the bell squat, so good. But with a barbell RDL, here I'm like always got like my hamstring kind of like a little pulled off. And yeah, especially when getting hyper shredded, I go a little bit scared into the movement. And I do believe that also limits a little bit the output we do. But and again, it makes sense because the risk of injury just is higher on some specific movements, and experience is just, yeah, let's say teaching us that. So we should like, hey, maybe swap out the movements or perform them in like a, let's say in a different style, like a different, yeah, different setup, a different execution. I had that also with like the cross body lateral raises where I got too much into the stretch, like my humerus was too much behind. So it's almost like it came out of the socket. And now I just have my hand like going a little bit lower. And now it feels 100% safe on my delts. So those little things can always make a big difference. And yeah, the Jim Lecco chest press, love that piece. Again, extremely lengthened bias here with a, yeah, like continuous reps. That's also something I always recommend. Is like, yeah, not pausing in like on here. I see that a lot of people doing on a leg press, on a hack squat, on chest presses, and then it's like you make a MyRep set out of it technically, and it's also very hard to yeah, see if you're actually making progress in a sense. Also, obviously the fatigue coming with it. If you do like 3 regular sets on those movements, and all those 3 regular sets are like technically rest pause sets, it's a lot of fatigue that comes with it. And again, you can't really measure progress. With MyReps, I got the question like, why are we doing MyReps? How I count progress here, and I just counted on the activation set. So the activation set is technically like my coaching progress set. So if the activation set is, if I get more reps in, if it just feels like, hey, instead of an RPE 10, I'm hitting the activation at an RPE 9 or 8, or just little things I just know, oh, I used a little bit less swing, a little less momentum, the muscle was doing more of the work, like my joints stayed more locked in, all those little things I just get a feeling of like, oh, that's like those micro changes, especially on side delts, where like that is like one of those muscle groups where it's kind of for me like a rinse and repeat. Like I really don't look at the logbook here on paper. It's really those micro progressions what I look at. It's really just like, hey, a little more stretch, a little better tension, a little less like keeping my rib cage like more in position versus like swinging it. Even like it's crazy. Like even a slight bit of swing here can make it easier. So yeah, like here it's really a thing of like, I just aim to go to failure, put a lot of effort in, because that's also one thing. As long as you know you put a ton of effort into your sets, you get a good stimulus in. Like that is like, not get too caught up of like, oh, do I make progress? Yeah, obviously we want to make long-term wise, we want to get stronger, get more reps in, but on those very small muscles, also on calves, it's like this thing for me like, hey, I just put max effort in, go to failure, and I know like, hey, I'm hammering them so hard they will like, they have to grow in a sense. And doing that with a volume that makes sense, it's like obviously like one thing. That's also the thing with like side delts or calves. If it's like a lacking muscle group, I would also like, let's say, experiment like, hey, maybe a little bit more like volume, see how that goes, and then most obvious thing is like how the physique is progressing, but also like, yeah, I mean, the logbook is still like important, but it's like just those muscle groups. I wouldn't get too yeah, let's say attached on it. So even one rep more every 3 or 4 weeks, if you like, especially if you like more advanced, that's plenty of like adaptation in a way. So yeah, he see me doing the full on myo reps. I rest like 20 to 30 seconds usually, and the rest period, again, as long as I get like 3 to 4 high quality repetitions in, that is all the rest period we need. Because like, don't get it wrong with like my reps of like short resting 10 seconds, super short. Like, that's not the goal. The goal with my reps is just like getting highly efficient repetitions in with like short rest periods, in a sense of like, hey, you want to be able to get 3 to 4 high quality repetitions in, and hey, maybe the rest has to be 15 seconds, maybe 25, and over time you get an intuition, like same like with traditional sets, of like how long you have to like rest in between until you get like those desired reps in. So yeah, and another thing that also came in mind with like another like benefiting contest where I also made a wheel about is obviously the business side of things, of like, yeah, growing your business, growing your social media. But that is like one of those things which is like, yeah, that's a little unfair, I would almost say. It's like a thing of like, you need to have wide expectations in a sense. If you have like average genetics or below average genetics, don't expect it. You shouldn't do it. Like, even like if you have like elite genetics, I wouldn't go into a prep of like, oh, I want to do it to grow my social media and so on. That is like not a big enough why, I would always say. But it can also definitely help of like, yeah, growing your social media, growing your business, and you have something cool to like, let's say, document and so on. So that is also like, I would say, another big one. For me personally, I love that one because my main identity, I would say, since I was a kid, is like being an athlete. So I really feel like, hey, like, boom, like training, it's my job. It's like, in a sense, I go to the gym. It's like, it's my main profession. Like, I see, like, I treat my training so serious. It's like, yeah, like I go there like a professional athlete. Like, I see that extremely serious, and that I love just that feeling of like, hey, I have the privilege, in a sense, of like being like one of the best, and also like, yeah, it helps like making a living, in a sense, out of it, which is like also like something I like really enjoy from, yeah, by doing that, because you just, yeah, put yourself out there and so on. So it can be also a thing of like helping with that aspect, I would say, like quite a bit. And yeah, like those Jim Lecco, we didn't got that one last time. Like Jim Lecco skull crusher press, kind of really love that piece. Feels just good on the joints. Feels very natural for me. At the beginning, my elbows been a little icky, but now they're feeling totally fine. And that's like also a reminder of like some movements, like your joints, they also adapt, but much slower than your muscles. So if your joints feel a little icky, especially, hey, like those movements, I give it a little bit of time, and then over time, hey, the pain might be almost totally gone. And again, there should be a threshold. If it's like a 1, 2 out of 10 pain, that is fine. And then over time, hey, your joints will start feeling better and better. It's the same thing of like, hey, if you're just not used to like, I don't know, standing all day or getting more steps in, right? Your ankles might hurt a little bit at the beginning, but then over time it's like adapting like more and more. So yeah, on this movement I just basically focus, like I still focus like with like doing almost like a press, in a sense, with this one. And yeah, getting good stretch in. Jim Lecco pieces are usually also always having a quite nice like resistance profile, I would say. They also work very smooth. And yeah, like that gym here, like Unreal Gym, has like a lot of Jim Lecco pieces, like quite a few, and all of them feeling quite good. So yeah, my reps here as well, again, to save like a good chunk of time. And yeah, and getting a good amount of quality work in, right? So that's the last one. Also here, as always, getting those, yeah, partial repetitions in. And the next one is like overhead triceps extensions using that ball. Like that ball feels just, no, I didn't use the ball that session. I remember I was testing out with that, but the ball feels actually better. So I'm back to that tennis ball. I was back there like this week again is the plan. But yeah, no, this one here, boom, I stabilize my humerals, use the hand here, so I can really, really push. It's almost like a same like a preacher curl in a sense, just like opposite. Making sure I stick within like the mid scapular plane here. And yeah, no, was like a quite a good session. Energy is definitely getting a little bit lower at this point. Like with training sessions, it's like just a thing of like, okay, I should feel a little more fried after each set, or it takes a little longer to like get into my zone, right? Like your body is like, hey, the leaner you get, the more it's kind of like, yeah, not wanting you to train. It's like, oh, what you doing here? Like, it wants to keep you chill. But then once you're there, okay, fight or flight mode, boom, let's get it down. And once getting to truly, truly shredded level, it gets very worse. So that is why, yeah, I still like to take a pre-workout, like that caffeine boost deep into prep. And then it's honestly a matter of like, your body's telling you, don't go, but you just go and get at it. So, and it's usually at the beginning. So once that fight or flight mode is on, you are usually like good to go. But yeah, overall things are going very well. Now at around still 70, kg average. And yeah, let's see how much we have to lose. I don't have a desired goal weight. I have like a rough idea. I do believe it's roughly 3-ish more kg to go. So I think right around, yeah, low 67s, high 66s, which is, yeah, it's like 2.5 kilos heavier than in 2024, which is insane for me, especially at my height at like 165. It's like, yeah, good amount of progress within the last, yeah, not even 2 years, like 18 months, I believe. And that shows you guys, of me now 15 years training almost. Hey, if you dial it in, if you work hard, if you trust the process, don't overthink every little like thing. I think that was also the off season where I overthinked the least ever. I was just, yeah, at some point you just know what you have to do, and it's technically like once you figure it out, like what you really works for you, it's so simple. You just, yeah, you trust yourself, trust the process, and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That is it. So yeah, that is it for this one. And we are now, 11 weeks out, and yeah, more videos to come, guys. All right.